Yeah, well, it's lucky that you're back actually because there was someone trying to take your spot on the pod.
Oh yeah.
They were trying to. Yeah, they saw that you were away and thought maybe it's my time to age in. Kylian Mbappe. Yeah, he was texting the page. He was messaging the page. He was messaging me. He saw a notification. He commented on the team of the year at 2 a.m. And then when I went to check, he was gone. So eventually, I said, "Okay, what's up, Kylian?
What's
How
up,
you going on?"
Kylian?
He's like, "Oh, I want to go on. I want to go on the podcast. I want to, I have stuff to say. I could be the new." The way he said it, special guest host. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
He said, Xhaka, he could do it at a tournament, but doing it as the best player in the world for a 38-game season, that's different gravy. I said, all right, first of all right, you're preaching to the choir on that one.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need to sell me on that. Second of all, it's me and Will here. We may, when Will comes back, we may discuss an unpaid internship.
Yeah.
He said he'd think about it. He hasn't got back to me yet, but he said, you're lucky you came back now because
he also was contacting me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he went behind. Okay, so he tried you first, then came to me. Okay. Maybe who knows?
He also said, I want to be on the podcast, and also I want to be in charge of all the Instagram and the marketing and all the editing as well. He wants to do everything.
Oh. Well, to me, he just said he had some stuff to get off his chest. Yeah, but, that's Mbappe's tournament, isn't it?
He wouldn't shut up about Griezmann either.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before. Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
Our new tradition, clap sync.
Oh,
see
yeah,
how long the delay is. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
I knocked over my mic.
I can see that happen too. It's like, I hope it's hit the mic. Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. Better late than never. Never late is better, Will. Drake. So
very cool. Yeah.
Anyway, any Drake fans out there? I know not many of them, but they might remember that little nugget. It's Friday the 2nd. We're just going to give you. We're going to jog your memories of this week, of what happened in the week. Nothing much, just 4 games really, so we didn't miss much.
Yeah, you would have thought, just a few 1-0s. Nope, the best football ever.
The best 2 days of international football there's ever been.
And I was away with no microphone.
A lot of these things are recency bias, but I think this can't be overstated.
It was
5-4 really
or 5-5 or something stupid.
Because we were pretty good for the first half of last 16. We were right on it. We recorded exactly after the game finished, immediately after the game finished. We recorded, and that has now become our worst ever listened to episode because the games that followed were just so monumentous that no one listened to the one we did before. So, and now we're doing this one way after people probably stopped caring because within a few hours, the new games will have started.
Yeah.
So, look, you can't win them all, but we got this one wrong,
It's tough to stay. This is hard. You really have to do like a podcast a day.
I mean, look, that I hate being one of those podcasts that complains about money, and we're not. And honest to God, we're not doing it for the money. If we were, we'd just stopped. We wouldn't have done it. This has been. We love doing this. We genuinely love doing this. But I mean, if it was a case that this was your job, you could hold it against us. But look, the pubs are open, folks. What do you want from us?
There's been a drastic downturn in the consistency,
the quality, the scheduling, the timing, the editing, the whole lot is just like. I mean, I'm sneaking into. I'm pretending to be a resident. I'm pretending to be a resident of a hotel so I can drink at the hotel lobby. That's what it's come to after a year and a half of not being out. So look, the podcast. We're not gonna get them all right here, folks, but we're here now. We're with you now, and if you really love us, which you should. We're back and, we're going to go through all the games. We know you're waiting for our top 5 fantasy roundup too. That's going to be coming as well in this episode. So don't worry, it's all going to be here.
And if you're one of the people who listens to the podcast, like catches up just whenever they can, you'll be hearing this in a few months anyway. And that's what you've been doing. So who cares? Some people do.
Yeah, well, for those people, I guess nothing has changed really.
Yeah.
You're just here for the laughs.
For the memories. You're like, oh yeah, I remember that game.
Well, let us remind you of the game. The game is funny because, like I said, you were away, and I knew you were away, which is fine. And I was watching the Spain Croatia game, and when that game finished, I thought, oh well, there'll be one game, but I mean, surely the next game won't be like that. It was exactly the same kind of a strange comeback. But yeah, the first game, I suppose, Spain Croatia. Again, if you can cast your mind back even further to Monday, to our pre-Euro episode, I like to refer back to that wherever I'm right, but also when I'm wrong as well. I think it's important to look, when we're wrong here, folks. We said Croatia, Spain, not going to do much in this tournament. Not very good players, kind of, in between teams. Not really sure of their identity right now. Didn't make much odds because that was an unbelievable game as well. Spain, they can pass the ball. We all know that.
Yeah.
But can they score goals?
Yes.
Also, yes. The last game who did they play? Who scored 5 against Slovakia? The team that should have been us.
Thank God we weren't there.
Thank God that wasn't us. They put 5 past them, but it was I think Morata maybe missed a penalty. No, maybe Moreno missed a penalty. Morata missed like 3 chances. Yeah. He was offside, like really badly offside. It's like these guys, they scored 5 goals, but the people who you want to score the goals didn't.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it doesn't really make much sense, this team. Sure, they scored 5 on Slovakia, but against big teams, are they going to have to put it together?
Yeah.
And then they came out again this game against Croatia and scored 5 more. 10 goals in 2 games was the team that people said couldn't score.
I'm nearly sure I said in the last episode, well, they're not going to score 5 every week.
Yeah, we played the clip. But I mean, and Morata scored probably the best goal of the bunch.
Yeah, he's
because it was.
Do you think he was listening to last week's episode?
Apparently, he listens to everything that Every says. He comes out swinging against the media ever since he's been at Real Madrid. I think he left. People have criticised him. He's left. He left Atletico Madrid for the same thing. Chelsea as well. And it's all kind of culminated in this, like, biggest stage in the world for Spain, and you're doing it again. You're still shite. And he's like, I'm not shite. We're a good team. All this stuff. The goal he scored, it was really difficult because it came over the defender. So, like, I know you say you should be expecting that, but just not, like, your human nature is to think, well, I can see something in between the ball. So when it comes over, you're still kind of like, oh, fuck. So his touch, to get any kind of decent touch on it, was very impressive with his right. Waited for it to bounce, didn't panic like Barack Yilmaz in the group stage. Didn't, oh no, I can't wait for the ball to come down. I'm going to kick it now. Fuck's sake. No, he waited for the ball to come down and expertly finished in the roof of the net.
Yeah.
And that was the winner.
Yeah.
And he ran over there. What's funny is in the Copenhagen stadium, it must be like a very steep stadium. Every game I've seen has had people, missiling bottles of beer down on the pitch. Every single game there.
A real throwback to the 2000s.
It doesn't seem to be about Danish fans. Maybe it is Danish fans. But it's all just Danish people like, fuck this, I want to throw my beer. Fuck it, man. Why not? It's always at that end where the Ericsson incident happens. Always in that corner that things seem to happen. So he was running around the back of the goal to get to Luis Enrique as pints rained down upon him. Very cinematic. Ran to Luis Enrique and gave him a big kind of thanks for trusting me, coach. This one's for you, bud. The winner of 4-3 epic. It was the other moment in that game was when Croatia went 1-0 up.
Yeah.
With no Perisic because he had COVID, obviously. Why wouldn't he have? Why wouldn't they be taking precautions at this tour? Just I'm just actually going to knock around town for a bit, lads. I might see you in an hour.
How is that? How surely to God, it's like, and I know it's a bad thing. You shouldn't be like, you can't separate the vaccinated and unvaccinated. But I think when you're doing a football tournament that goes around Europe, you should be like, you have to be vaccinated. You're going to absolutely blow it.
I mean, look, the vaccine is one thing, but like, I think it seems like you'd have to be totally like, I actually don't believe in COVID to get COVID's point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like, all you used to ever hear about, well, the English players anyways, was like, oh, it's so boring, we're always stuck in the hotel, you can't go anywhere. These boys seem to be just go, like, how are they getting COVID then?
Yeah.
If surely this would be even more like that you wouldn't be able to go anywhere, they'd be stuck in the same spot.
Yeah.
don't know what Perisic was doing. He got COVID.
Was there any cases in the NBA bubble last year? I don't remember anyone being out with COVID.
Well, this is it. That was a bubble. That was like they're on the Disney grounds and they weren't leaving. Whereas these boys just seem to be able to head down to a tapas bar, chat to a few locals. I don't know what they're up to, but like they seem to be getting COVID at a rapid rate.
I'll be into in a minute there, boss. I was going to have a chat with Billy Gilmore for a while.
Yeah, I mean,
he doesn't play with you.
It seems strange, but he wasn't there, and that was like like Rebic. He's not been very good. I mean, he was always kind of the third stringer there.
Yeah.
Between it was Rebic up front, then you have Rebic, Mandzukic, and Perisic up front in 2018, and Rebic was always like the worst one.
Yeah.
And now you're left with only Rebic because Mandzukic retired, Perisic has COVID, so he's not good enough. So thinking, who's going to get the goals for them? And the answer was Pedri. Pedri was going to get the goals for them. Well, Pedri and I don't know, who do you blame in that situation? Unai Simon or Pedri?
I think that's all Simone.
It has to be. It's a back pass. It's not a new thing. You got to deal with that.
People shoot the ball at you. You can't handle someone passing it to you.
Yeah, I mean, there was a little bit of pace in the ball, obviously. But I mean, come on. I mean, he wasn't looking. He was looking where he thought, the ball's there somewhere. I think I know where it is. Stuck his foot down and he was looking up where he's going to kick it. It's like, get to the ball first. And then so much space.
It reminded me of the classic one you'd always see on like football's biggest bloopers or whatever.
Yeah,
I think Villa were playing someone and there was a throw in straight back to the keeper and the keeper lifted his foot up to get it and it just rolled under while he stood there with his foot in the air. It's classic. I mean, do they still do those blooper videos?
No, we have the internet now, so those
true.
Things are uploaded instantly and we're bored of it within an hour.
Again,
so
people get murdered on the internet. I'm not going to watch. I'm not going to watch.
There's no time to release a DVD collection like that. That's months old, pal. I saw that on Twitter. So get the shit out of here. The same reason Soccer M kind of died a bit because all their stuff was basically
highlights,
internet on TV. Highlights. But no, that was the goal for Croatia. And I think, oh no, like Spain, this is where you see how good a team they are.
Yeah.
And they actually did. They played really well. They came back. Pedri has been very, very good for someone who's 18. I mean, he's younger than Troy Parrott, I think.
Which is impossible.
I mean, like, Troy Parrott should be playing, lads. I mean, look, if Pedri can play as well, with the goal aside, come on. But no, the point being that like Spain are very good. They came back. Azpilicueta got a really good goal. Good to see him playing. Good to see him starting. Because when he got called up initially, it was like this great story because he hadn't really got a run in for Spain. Obviously dominated by Real Madrid players who have been told to fuck off this time. So place opens up. But then he doesn't start, doesn't play. It's like it's one of those kind of like, I got a cap for Spain. It's like he didn't play, man.
Yeah.
No one will say it to his face, but behind his back, like come on, he didn't actually play that.
The Halil Akbanar you're talking about.
Well, he didn't even get to go. But like it's almost worse to get to go and not play a minute.
Yeah.
Now he plays. He plays well the last game against Slovakia, sure. A bit of a, who knows how important that is. He plays again in this game, scores a goal, gets them back into it. And then the third goal, Ferran Torres, well, of course he was going to score because I jettisoned him out of my fantasy team.
Classic.
Even though he scored against Slovakia, I was like, nah, you know what? He came on as a sub. It doesn't mean anything. He comes on the sub again and scores. It's, of course, brilliant.
He's a super sub.
And at that point, the goal, it looked like the way he kind of like rounded him very easily. It was a long ball from Pau Torres, another player I picked out. I got rid of both the Torres brothers for my fantasy team because I thought there'll be subs, and they were, and they both came on. They both got an assist in the goal exactly like the last game. But the point, whatever, beside the point. It looked like it was kind of a very bad defending, easy goal. It's like Croatia lads, they're gone. Yeah. Their heads are gone here. But they also have one of the greatest players of all time.
Oh yeah.
I think Luka Modric is one of the greatest players of all time.
He's been doing it for so long. We've been talking, even the length of this podcast, we've been saying he's really good. It seems like every week he does something else.
Because he's not, he's not a highlight reel player.
Yeah.
Really. But I mean, like you're saying, he's been doing this since 2008. I mean, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Young, smallest player to score for Croatia. He's done it he did it for Tottenham, did it for Real Madrid. He does it for Croatia. And he didn't single-handedly bring them back in that game because, I mean, a lot of it was to do with the subs that they brought on. You can bring on 6 subs. I mean, I saw a tweet, it was like 12 subs and 8 goals in a European last 16 game. It's ridiculous. Like, seems like a preseason game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
6, it definitely freshened it up, and for extra time, it's probably better, really.
Yeah, I think
So
so.
how many extra times have you seen they've just been like, oh, get to the
Slogging
penalties.
around.
You know, these lads can't run
The
anymore.
Europa League final for one.
Yeah, that was another one. So like, it was very fresh, but Modric made that the company to make it 3-2. He like just danced his way into the box and made that goal. And it was really kind of sickening one for Spain because it didn't actually go. It didn't hit the net. It was one of those ones like with goal line techno.
Yeah.
You know, it crossed the line, so you're still kind of like, no, that didn't go in.
Yeah.
You know, did it? Croatia run away, wheel away in celebration, and you're like still like left there with your cock in your hand, kind of like, oh, what's going on now? Did I miss this? Like, and they're like, yes, we go on again. So you've been kind of like caught on the hop here, even though there's been a goal. You're not even sure how
they did everything right as well. Like they cleared it nearly off the line. Like they were in all the right places. They're just unlucky.
Yeah, they did so well. Yeah, they still kind of conceded. I think they'd taken off Koke at that point. The game was wrapped up 3-1.
Yeah.
It was, it was over. But Modric brings them back into it. And then the 92nd minute, a headed goal. I mean, I thought, Jesus, Spain. Like, I mean, you must have made a deal with the devil to win those 3 in a row because you've just been so bad ever since, 2014. Like, that's just been like...
When that happened, I was like, at least it'll only happen to Spain today.
And then, like I say, it was probably Spain obviously brought on all their subs too, and it was like the likes of Torres and the Torres brothers who came on. Morata obviously got the winner.
Yeah.
They probably had a little bit more on the bench to bring on, and that's probably what saw them over the line. Is this kind of one of those ones that they're like they're stronger for it? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger? Or is it one of the ones that think, Jesus Christ, like, how do we do that? Like, if we can concede 3 to them when we had them beat, like, how are we going to beat the next team, which is Switzerland?
Switzerland, I think. Who they should be beating, really?
Well, who knows?
Well, yeah, that's true.
So do you think Morata will push on from this, or what do you think?
No, I think he might score a few more goals, but I think he's as good as he is. I don't think he's like...
well, this is the thing. This is what you always say about...
I think we've seen the real Morata.
This thing you say about Morata is that, like, he's tall, he's athletic, he's fast, he can score goals. He scored goals in big games for Juve and for Real Madrid. But it's his, like, head problems, as I say. He doesn't have it upstairs, Will. He thinks about it too much. Like, you see, dim players or players who are, like, famously dim, they'll always score a penalty.
Yeah.
Because they won't comprehend the magnitude of the situation until years after the event. Or someone who's, like, overthinking it or who's, like, get involved with the media.
Yeah.
Who's like, well, actually, we are a good team. It's like, you really either have to be like totally focused beyond that level, or like it doesn't bother you. I don't actually care at all.
Yeah.
I think he's in the middle of kind of like, I think a lot about these things.
Yeah.
Like even when he went over to Enrique, like a jubilant player who doesn't think about these things would just be cheering the goal.
Yeah.
Who's thinking, no, I better thank Enrique for this opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like, really, you'd rather him just being like,
yeah. And like, what
cheering
happens
like mad?
What happens if Croatia score after that? And it's like, well, now what, Enrique? Like, you're not going to go back again. Like, I did it again. Like, you've used it up.
Yeah. It should bring us on, I suppose, to like we said, Switzerland. Don't you mean France? Weren't France playing Switzerland? Shouldn't? Don't you mean that the world champion French team with the best squad in the tournament? According to some,
I was heartbroken that I'm never going to see the boys dancing to that Allez le Bleu song ever again. I'm never going to see them singing about themselves. It's over.
Well, a lot of those players in that song were found out, I think.
Yeah.
Kipembe, for one, who a lot of people were saying before the tournament, I'm not sure about him. I mean, he wasn't great for PSG in the Champions League. I mean, he's probably a bit, I thought, well, he's been pretty good so far. He has that song and all, he's good. And then
in the song, yeah.
Seferovic, I think. Damn, I know he climbed over Lenglet, who I think widely renowned. Well, I mean, look, we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the beginning here, where this was like typical of this French team. Started slow, thinking, listen, no need to panic here, lads. We're a much better team. Do you remember the World Cup? Because we won that. So don't actually worry about this Swiss team. We'll peak for the semi-final, the final.
Yeah.
And it was Serovic who climbed over Lenglet, who got the ball in the goal, and it was like, even then it was like, you thought, okay, well, maybe they scored too early here. Maybe the Republic of Ireland here. Maybe they scored too early. And then France just turned it on.
Yeah,
that was probably it was whatever you think about France and the French team. It was a joy to watch that football because they just like bang, bang, bang. Like it was over. Well, actually, no. Again, I'm skipping again. It was the penalty.
Oh yeah.
The penalty. Pavard had a terrible tournament.
Yeah, well, he did also get a fucking brain damage, didn't he? Remember he got knocked out? Was that him?
Yeah, maybe it's not the real Pavard. The last thing I remember from him was the Hungary game.
Yeah,
where he got booked early on. I was like, Jesus, like he was getting sucked into because Hungary being very kind of rash and tactical, and he was getting sucked into that. I was like, it was early on the game.
You're France, man.
Yeah, he's been done a few times on that wing, and he got done. I think was it maybe Mbappe, perhaps.
Mbappe, yeah, I think so.
Maybe it wasn't Mbappe actually, someone else. But he got done on that wing, went flying through. And one of those ones that's always a penalty.
Yeah,
always a penalty. And again, for some reason, the referee and the linesman go, well, we don't have to actually make a call. We'll just wait for VAR to tell us.
Why would I do this when I get in trouble if it's wrong?
Well, I can get 100% accuracy from VAR, and I guess VAR said, yeah, let's bring that back. That's a penalty.
They should do away with the referees and just have a loud, ominous voice from the stadium that just reads the VAR calls. It's like, stop, foul. Yeah. There's no need for refs.
It's like Sir Kill-Lot, like from Robot Wars in the middle, just wheeling around. Try two lads surrounding him. You fucking see what happens to you, you know? And he has VAR decisions on his chest.
Yeah, he's got the monitor. Would be funny to see like Ronaldo going up and like arguing with Sir Kill-Lot and the axe.
He just maces him on the head, bonks him on the head.
They should go whole hog and get your man, what's his name, Craig Charles, to do the commentary.
Oh yeah, that'd be savage. I'd love that,
little flippers in the ground that shoots players out of the stadium.
Yeah, flippers on the ground, that'd be class. He's put him in the pit. So Killer just grabs fucking Mbappe by the ankle and drags him to the fiery pit.
There's not enough fire in football.
In fact, if we're getting Craig Charles, let's just go full to catch his castle. Let's just like combine the two. So Kill-Lot waiting over the slippery slope on the other side.
The whole penalty box is all water with the skipping stones.
Yeah. All right, get fucking what's the man? Sefric on the phone on the blower. We got some ideas for. It's not Sefric. It's something like that.
That was what the original plans for the Super League were.
Oh yeah. That's again. They got the Super League wrong a lot. They gave us the wrong information first, and then by the time the Robot Wars / the Keshi's Castle element was announced, no one cared anymore. We were already against this.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, Pavard goes through him. It's a penalty, and Rodriguez, who I felt a little bit of connection to as a man linked for about 3 summers in a row with Arsenal. I'm a man that if he had scored, Arsene Wenger nearly would have signed him, sure. As it was, he missed a really tame penalty. And I returned to somebody saying, Hugo Lloris actually has the worst record for saving penalties in tournaments of all the keepers. I don't think that was true, but I said it, and then of course he saved it. And I was like, yeah, well, whatever, man. You know, that probably is something that doesn't make any sense.
You have a podcast, do you?
Yeah. So he saved that, and then that was the turning point. France said, okay, right, that was almost okay. Yeah. The first goal was one thing. We were actually going to lose there. So 2-0 wouldn't have been good. And then it was a joy to watch. Fucking Mbappe and Griezmann and Benzema linking up. I mean, that Benzema goal.
Nah, man, he's fucking so good.
It's a goal tournament. No question. I mean, before that it was Patrick Schick against Scotland, but I think because it's in the knockout game and it was to equalise. I mean, this is the thing, right? Sure, Giroud is the second all-time top goal scorer. But do you think Giroud would have scored that goal?
No.
No. I think Drew would have scored a similar goal that was just as good, or a different goal that was just as good, but he wouldn't have been able to score that kind of a goal.
Yeah.
To be able to be running full tilt, to stop and to readjust his body. I mean, to reach back with his left foot and bring that ball back in front of him, and then have the pace. This is where Drew wouldn't have done it. The pace over the first 3 yards between him and the goalie, the ball rolling away from him.
Yeah.
To tip it, like that finish, the whole thing. It was like, oh yeah, that's why he's back in the team.
But that's the problem as well, is because he can do that. But instead of being like, savage, we're going to win the World Cup, Mbappe saw that and went, I can do that. Why isn't it me doing that?
Yeah, well, when he scored the second goal again, Griezmann, flicked it over Sommer. Sommer got a hand to it, and again, it's this athletic ability. We saw it against Chelsea in the Champions League. This ability to just contort his body mid-air, mid-run, and just like get ahead. Like it looks like, oh, it was a tapping. It wasn't really tapping because he was like, going where that ball should have been.
Yeah,
he had to readjust, head it in. Another great finish. It was like, oh man, like this is ridiculous. And then, of course, Paul Pogba.
Oh, man. Level-headed, keep to himself, Paul Pogba.
Steps up and hits, probably the second best goal of the tournament.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. I mean, obviously you've seen that goal before, but it was just the technique to get that ball out of his feet. And he was playing so well in that game. Like, he was rolling doing all the things that you see Pogba doing in ads on the pitch. And it was just so good. And then he did the whole repertoire was wheeled out. All the dances he knew, he decided he was gonna wheel out in the middle of the pitch. He danced a bit before people came to him. Mm. They hugged him. He danced a bit more. He was walking back to the middle of the pitch. Another few dances. Bah, bah, stir it up, cooking it up.
Did you see what Jose Mourinho said about him?
No.
It's very funny. He was saying about the France team. He was like, when they scored the third goal, he said, I thought they danced too much. They celebrate like they were given a new Eiffel Tower.
That's probably pretty accurate. I mean, the dancing was like, you see the talent, and he was tackling, he was tracking back, he was doing, all the things that you say he doesn't do for United.
Well, all the things he doesn't do for United, to be fair.
Well, again, it's like, we'll get to...
He's past the point, because we talked about this, we understand he's better players around him, he's more defensive players around him that can cover for him. But still, it's past the point now in this tournament where it's like, okay, well, he's not that, like, United aren't that bad, man. You can do some of this stuff.
But yet, Will, yes, what he also does for United, and what's most infuriating, and what people remember, is him dawdling on the ball in the middle of the pitch, thinking the game was won, and giving the ball away.
Yeah, classic.
And they won it back off. It was like, what was he doing? What was he doing? He had played... Honestly, I mean, he plays well for France. He not always, but he plays very well for France. That was probably the best game I've seen him play.
Yeah, same.
Again, because you take in that Switzerland were playing very well themselves. I mean, we've talked about fucking Pogba playing well for United, for France, not playing well for France. Oh my God, I can't get the words out because I'm so mad at Granit Xhaka. Who the fuck was that? Who was that man? I've never seen him play for Arsenal. He was unbelievable, and Pogba was man to man with him.
Yeah,
he played a great game, and then just get that ball. Don't do that. Don't dawdle on the ball. Like,
well, that does happen. He does that for United, where when he's having a good game, it's when he pulls off a few Hollywood passes. Then he's like, I'm going to make the next one even longer, even more elaborate. But when he's thinking that, it means he has to get the ball, stop, and go, what's the hardest thing I can do here? And then the ball's gone.
Yeah, like he was surrounded by men. It was like, you turn out of that. Don't go down that blind alley. Like, you're going to get surrounded. Recycle the ball. Do the smart thing. You're 3-1 up. The
ball's going to come back to you, man.
Yeah, and he's like, 3 men around me. Watch this. I got this. It doesn't matter to me. And then he went, oh wait, no. And then lost the ball. They went straight to the pitch. Finished. Was that the third goal? That was the third goal.
So, yeah.
I mean, the second goal again. It was down that wing. Mbappe. Played very well. Put in, I think, the ball for Servich's the second goal. He was flying down that wing, and they had. Well, this is the thing as well. I suppose we didn't mention at the start. Their formation was a bit fucked because both Digne and Hernandez were injured in the last game. So they decided to go with a back three and play Rabiot as kind of a wing back type. He's a midfielder. He's not, it's like we always say this, like, lad, do a job there at right back first there against international level wingers. So Mbappe was killing on that side. They had Coman on. They were tracking back. They were getting to him a little bit, but I think Coman was like blocked off by a player for like a second, and that's all Mbappe needed to put like a ball in for Servich. Like say Kipembe and Lenglet in the middle, question marks over them. I mean, you look at all the centre backs they didn't bring from Laporte too. Hey, Laporte is playing left back. He could do a job left back for you if he'd been there. But no, you had Lenglet to come on to get dominated by Servich.
Do you think as soon as Laporte was starting left back for Spain, Deschamps was like, "Oh shit."
Yeah, I mean, it's not even you can't say, in hindsight. It's like even before that, people thought, well, maybe he should be playing for France. But Deschamps knew best. Deschamps said, no, we got Lenglet in the back three, and we'll have Rabiot and Coman, to make a makeshift left wing back of sorts. That was the wing that the balls were coming in. That's where the goal came from. And then, like say, Papa just he fucked it. He fucked it. And at the risk of sounding like Graham Souness here and having to go with Pogba, it was his fault.
Yeah.
And it's 100%. Tough because, like say, he was before that probably the best player on the pitch.
That sums him up.
He was so good for them.
That sums up his career at United pretty much.
Yeah, and this is the thing. He obviously maybe worked a bit harder. And again, it's like I said with Xhaka. It's tournament football is not the same as a 38, probably 40 in between 38 and 48 game season. It's not the bright light. It's not passion, and it's not knockout games. It's like. It's tough. And for Pogba, and this is the thing, right? I was being a bit negative there. Like we're saying, Pogba doesn't play that for United. Xhaka doesn't play that for Arsenal. This is good. This is a good thing. Hear me out. This is a good thing. Because now they have something to sell.
Yeah.
Because before this tournament, you would have said, if you were trying to look at Pogba, think, do we want that fucking in our club? Like, what's he really bring? Shaq is Simri. It's like, what's he done? Like, is he any good? And look, it hasn't worked out United and Arsenal. There's no point in saying, don't sell him now. It might be good. If he is good somewhere else, good for him.
Yeah.
He hasn't worked out here. So there's no point in holding on to him and hoping that he played well for Switzerland. No, and not the same. Like, they were underdogs.
Yeah.
Probably the whole tournament. Beforehand, we said they'd do well to get out of the group with Wales and Italy. Then they'd play France. And it's like, good luck, lads, So, like, Xhaka can just go out there and just have a go, and no one expects him to win.
And as
you play for Arsenal, it's like you're better than Arsenal are better than most teams in the Premier League. You should win every game, and it's.
But as well, like, obviously he's going to be better for Switzerland. He cares more. Why would he give a shit about Arsenal? Really, like, he's from Switzerland.
And I think it's like Switzerland is, like I say, it's a different situation. Like obviously for United and Arsenal, it's been like there's been management changes. There's expectation of fans of previous great teams. There's the players around. There's a lot of kind of people coming in, people coming out. For whatever reason, it hasn't worked out. But they are good players.
Yeah.
They are good players in their own right. It's just at international level, it's probably a bit simpler for them.
Yeah.
It's just there's a little less going on. Maybe not for France, but like. It's a different situation, and I think it's time for Arsenal United to sell them now. Sell them now, you'll never sell them.
Like, well, I think Pogba's contract's up next year anyway, so it's sell him now or he's gone for free.
Sell him now, yeah.
And if he's gone for free, like, that's embarrassing. That's a lot of money down the drain, really.
Like, on the back of that performance, sure, I mean, they was giving away the ball the last thing, it's one thing, but like...
He had a good tournament.
Yeah, you'd pay money for him.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Whereas, like we were saying, if this tournament happens last year, he mightn't even fucking play. He might even start for them. So, yeah, and then, of course, it was the penalties.
Well, before the penalties...
Sorry, go on, yeah.
Xhaka did something insane. I could not believe my eyes. I don't know if you've copped this. So, Switzerland were doing their... Well, first of all, France were not really in a huddle. Deschamps was, like, giving out to someone. I can't remember who it was. And at the same time, it was the very same as the Europa League final. One team, the team that were like, oh, fuck, this has gone to penalties. We shouldn't have let this happen. And they looked scared. Then the camera panned over to the underdogs in a massive huddle. Like, this is the moment we'll remember for the rest of our lives. And then the camera panned out a bit more. And Xhaka was drinking a bottle of Coke.
Yeah.
I can't do that when I'm sitting at home. Imagine his belly.
He was chugging it down. He was like I mean, I've done that like very hungover. Been like, oh, I just need a can of Coke. And like, you drink half it maybe. But like he just downed it. Like as if Coke had paid him money to do so.
I couldn't believe my eyes. I've never seen a footballer drink a fizzy drink, let alone chug a Coke before a penalty
drink.
shoot.
I mean,
a bottle of Coke.
I mean, his belly running around that pitch in extra time must have been so gassy. How did he do that? I'd play well. It was ridiculous. It was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
How did he not vomit?
It was, it's literally like, Coke wouldn't make an ad like that anymore. Because, like, well, people know better.
Unrealistic.
Like, you can't do that. Have you ever drank Coke? It's terrible. Like, you can't play on that. But yeah, he was like in full TV mode.
Well, he was so in TV mode that he slapped someone. Did you see that? I don't know who it was.
Yeah, it was weird. The whole thing was very movie.
Decked someone with a slap, and you could tell the other guy's like, "Whoa, okay, calm down."
But they were all started slapping each other. All like it was, I kind of thought they would win in extra time.
Yeah.
And then when the penalties, you just don't know. But extra time penalties. It had to be Mbappe, didn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It had to be.
All the talk, all the non-stop, like me. I'm going to take the last penalty. Come on, bro. You're like fucking 21. I don't care how good you are.
Well, he took the penalty. He took the last penalty and missed, of course. Well, no, he didn't miss. Jan Sommer saved it. Give him his fucking dues. He saved it. But he walked off the pitch then. And nobody said anything to him. Nobody consoled him. Because I'm always suspicious about these kind of narratives because it's a great narrative to say, Mbappe's a diva.
Yeah.
Oh, he thinks he's all that. He won the World Cup. He's lost run himself. Neymar's a bad influence on him. All this kind of stuff. And then we walked to the pitch and I think Digne went over to him. He wasn't playing. He gave him like sorry, man. Like, that's your teammate. Like, that's all you can muster. Like, sorry about the...
It did seem like people were like, for fuck's sake. Like, obviously, he was going to miss. So, like, it was weird that he was the last...
surely you say, look, man, it happens. It's like, nobody. Like, Deschamps went over for, like again, like almost like a contractually obliged handshake.
Shook his hand and said, I knew you'd do this.
Yeah. You fucked me. You've ruined my legacy. You can bounce back. You're young. I'm finished.
Surely you give the last penalty someone more experienced, just like an older player.
You're your best player, man. He's the best player in the tournament. He's your best player. He's the one who's going to score goals. He's the guy. If this is the moment, that's how you want to take it. I mean, Pogba scored his. Kipembe scored his. They all scored theirs. I mean, you have to take one.
I think you give him an earlier one though. I think the last one is like, it's on you now. It's all about you. I think no matter how good you are when you're that young, unless you're a freak, which I'm sure he is, like a freak athlete, but
he is a freak, man. I mean, if not Mbappe, who's going to take that? Benzema gone off, remember?
Yeah, that is true. And
Benzema gone off
at the penalty shootout. It was the same as United. I was like, oh my god, don't let Pogba take the last one, please. I can't handle listening to that.
Yeah, see, this thing, like, for anyone else, like you say, Pogba misses. It's like he doesn't have enough. Other things to be remembered for.
Pogba also did the most insane penalty I've ever seen because his little run up. He did that in turbo speed and then blasted it. It was like, why'd you do the little run up at all then?
Like if he misses, it's like, oh yeah, world record player who missed that penalty to get knocked out by fucking Switzerland.
Yeah,
that would have been his legacy. Nothing. I mean, yeah, sure, other goals and stuff, but I mean, that's Mbappe is young. He's already won the World Cup. He's the golden boy. It feels like something that he can bounce back from.
Yeah, that's true.
Like Kipembe, again, that's what he would be remembered for. Giroud, yeah, that would have been his defining moment. Like anybody else who was like over the age of 25, 26, like you're not coming back from this, lads. He's young. He's won the World Cup, like I say. So I think he'll bounce back, and it's good. I mean, it's about time someone took him down a peg or two. Let's be honest. Like, he's had it pretty good for a while now,
and he was out of control there for the last 2 months, it seemed.
That's the narrative, and the way that nobody went over to him, I'm inclined to believe it now. Yeah. Before I was on the fence, like, yeah, who knows really? I mean, it's a great story. It's kind of great drama. But I mean, I remember that goal that Suarez scored. I think I don't know what controversy he was reeling from at that point. He scored some goal in the Champions League and he ran to the camera. He did that weird little scream, and then he like whipped around to celebrate with his teammates and no one was there.
Yeah.
I think it was maybe that they had gone 3-1 up and they're like, sorry, I have some class or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was just one of those ones like, oh, maybe it is taking its toll.
Yeah.
Maybe they are kind of like, maybe you're not a cool guy after all.
Yeah. Well, was it Ozil and Sanchez got that as well at Arsenal, where they would score and everyone would celebrate together and they'd be like, hey, on their own.
Or I remember when Rooney against Swansea, do you remember that? When David Moyes' first season, and he wanted out.
Yeah.
These things tend to be true.
Yeah.
Listen, we're not body language experts here, folks, but they tend to be true,
Yeah.
and you can take that to the bank.
Well, like when, that's like the clearest sign when like no one's happy for you or sad for you in the team
or you're
game.
not celebrating with teammates.
In the team game.
Don't feel part of this anymore, you know? Yeah, very tough to watch poor Mbappe walk off on his own into the dressing room. But you know, it comes with the territory of wanting to take the free kicks for some reason, I guess. And look, I mean, if that was it, well, if that had been the games that people talked about, you know, it would have been we could have done an hour on that. But we got to move on. We got to move on to Ukraine and Sweden, the big game. Yeah, crazy game that was, Will. Forsberg, who saw him coming?
I saw him coming too late. I put him in my fantasy team for the next round of games before that game.
Well, he had a goal, a very good goal. It was deflected, but it was a good goal. He's been playing out with skin this tournament. He could have had a hat-trick, hit the crossbar and the post. Should have had a hat-trick, didn't have a hat-trick, I guess, as the old saying goes. But it was all Sweden until the sending off. You saw that, did you?
Yeah, I didn't think it was a sending off at all. I think it was a sending off in slow motion, but that's not how life works. Life
in slow motion, it was grim.
Yeah, but like things look bad in slow motion, but the game is not. Like you don't watch it frame by frame, like the JFK murder thing, analyzing it.
Or like the Zapruder film.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought that was mad. That was a crazy thing to get sent off.
That's probably the worst example because JFK did die and he was assassinated, Will. So that would have been sending off. You know,
maybe not
any way
full
you speed. Well, you know, you slow it down. Sure, you see him get shot, but I mean, come on, that's what happens when you're president. No, but look, people seem to be weirdly divided on this. I was kind of the same as you. Like, look, I mean, he didn't mean it. Was it reckless? Maybe.
I don't think it even was reckless. I think it was unfortunate. Like, I don't think he went flying in to I don't care what happens. He didn't even really go flying in. He's just, his foot was in the air to get the ball. That was like knee height. That's normal. Like, that's not that
kind of lunged is the only thing. Like, both feet off the ground, kind of lunged.
Yeah, he was reaching for it, but I don't know.
Yeah, reaching. Yeah, reaching with the studs.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, unfortunate, reckless, dangerous. Apparently by the letter of the law, which, you know, keeps changing.
Yeah.
You got to be up on your letters of laws in this game.
It's been a while since the What Are the Rules segment.
Yeah. Supposedly, apparently, the rules are that was sending off, and that's what the you know, by the book.
Yeah.
You know, in this tournament, we go by the book sometimes. I guess when small teams are playing, it's a sending off. For that, and that was the end of Danielson's tournament, because after that, then it was all Ukraine. I've never seen a turning point more stark than that. It was all Sweden. Like I say, Forsberg was killing it.
Yeah.
You know, he's recently signed a new contract with Leipzig, I think.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was very good, and then he just kind of switched, and I mean, they looked tired. Yarmolenko, they looked tired up in that point, and they just kind of got a second win. They went a man down. Sweden felt like, you know, they'd given it their all, and it wasn't good enough, and now, you know, they were being punished. And that it looked like it was going for penalties, and that the goal there, who's it from? Well,
it was
a big lad. He ripped off his jersey. He was fucking jacked. He was a beefcake, man. He was big.
You know what I noticed as well? No card for ripping off the jersey.
Well, I guess it's for inciting fans, and there aren't many fans, so I guess that's.
But if I say I was in second in the fantasy and someone had him in first, and he didn't get deducted points for that, I'd be fuming. That's the letter of the law. If that's a red card, then that's a yellow card.
Maybe they've changed it. I don't know. That's the thing. But certainly when Dovbrick scored that goal and ripped it off, I was like, Jesus, he's a fucking big fella. You know, and he had that tracker bra on as well, which also makes you look more jacked.
Yeah, it makes you look like Bane from.
I was like, fuck. But yeah, that's how they won it in the 120 plus 1 fucking 3, whatever it was.
Felt bad for Sweden because they held on well even after the red card. They were
a tough way to
on.
go.
Yeah,
I think the only worst way is probably golden goal.
Yeah. Which they should definitely bring back.
I mean, you want drama, you want tragedy. You bring back golden goal.
Yeah.
But that was as bad as we had to go as any.
That was the glory days of extra time being just like, nobody do anything.
Yeah. That's probably why they brought in for less boring games, because you just don't want to make mistakes. You make a mistake, you die. It's over.
Yeah.
You've disgraced your country.
Yeah.
Like Kylian Mbappe. But I suppose we should probably talk about England. They won against a bad German side, let's be honest. You know,
God, that German side, they lost the run of themselves. As soon as the goal went in, you could feel it. You could feel they're like, we're beating Germany. Have some of that. The whole talk going up to that game was, this Germany team is bad. England will probably beat them. We said it last week.
Yeah, I said they'd win. There's a great clip actually on RD where they're asking predictions for the game, and them just like, yeah, I've been wrong about loads of them so far, so I'm going to go with England. To try and balk them. But that's how it works, Dave. You have to be sincere.
Did you see Damien Duff talking about Ukraine versus England coming up? He's like, I have never been so sure of anything in my life. I guarantee, without doubt, Ukraine are not going to beat England. He said, after that Sweden game, he was like, that was the worst team I think I've seen in an international tournament.
Sweden should have won that game. Absolutely, Sweden should have won that game. So yeah, I mean, England are like, look, when all the talk for the game was like about who they're going to play, who's not going to play, Grealish, Foden, Mount, none of them playing. What the fuck? And it was like, they were doing the back three, the wing backs, to try and counteract the Germans, which was seen as kind of like a.
That's what Portugal should have done.
Yeah, but in England, this was seen as like cowardice and bending the knee, if you will.
Something they don't like.
No. And this is the thing, like, it's the loud racists that don't like that. But there's definitely elements in the English media as well who think, really we shouldn't be bending the knee to anything or anyone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the mask slipped a bit here on this. It's like, like really we shouldn't be, we should just be kind of overpowering these Germans, like we did in when. But whatever, we won't even talk about. I don't no mention of that because fucking hell. They have their own annoying mentions now. I mean, 1996, anybody ever heard of it?
One World Cup, 2 World
Finally,
Wars.
Gareth Southgate has dispelled those demons of 1996.
What demons are they talking about? Like,
if Gareth Southgate hasn't got over that by now, he's fucking topped himself. He's not still living with it.
He said he looked up at the screen at one point in the game and saw David Seaman. He's like, I did this for my teammates then. Like, I could feel it. It's like, you got beaten by Germany in the 90s. Who gives a shit?
That they asked him that after, I think it was after the game, like, is it over now, Gareth? Is 96 over? Have you finally got over it? And I think he was like, I don't actually care.
Yeah.
But he said, like, who I feel bad about, or who I ever felt bad for was my teammates, because I let them down. I let the likes of Alan Shearer and players who were in their prime. Like, he was a good player, but like that's who you think I let them down. That was their chance to win something in England, and that's who, if I ever cared, I care about them. But I mean, I am a grown man. I have somehow managed to pull myself together over these last 25 years and go on with my life after missing a penalty in a football match, for fuck's sake. But yeah, I think he's a bit kind of a plowmaster. Like, he kind of says the right things. You know what I mean? He says the kind of like, he's happy to kind of go along with it. He's not like, like we think that he replaced Big Sam. Like he couldn't be more opposite to Big Sam. Can you imagine like somebody saying this to Big Sam about 96? Not that he was playing in it, but he would be like, that's a load of nonsense. It's a load of nonsense. I don't care about that. No one cared about that. These players aren't born. He would have been like, and that would have got the media like, oh, this guy doesn't have any even knowledge of English football. You know, he doesn't respect the traditions of us losing. You know, that kind of shit that would turn the media against him. Whereas Southgate, he knows how to play it. You know,
yeah, he's good at the media. He's but by God, they're so boring to watch, man. They're awful.
But Shearer then obviously he heard this you know, this poor Southgate still tormented by 96, and he released a letter, an open letter to Gareth Southgate. Did you see this?
No, are you serious?
Will I read something from the letter?
Yes,
to Gareth Southgate?
They're psychos, man.
I just googled it. It's like Alan Shearer open letter to Shay Given. So this is like a fucking thing he does. How many open letters has he written? Shearer says, Gareth, I have never once looked at you and blamed you. I have never thought of you as the man who cost me or cost our England team a trophy and a winner's medal at the European Championships 25 years ago.
Pause for a sec. I could not have heard... I've never heard someone who sounds more like they definitely do blame someone for something. I would never blame you for this really specific thing I'm going to mention.
I have never considered you a failure for taking a penalty against Germany and missing. There's not a spark in my brain or an atom in my body that thinks in those terms. I hate that you suspect otherwise.
What?
Do I think about it ever? Do I think about it at all? Jesus, yes. I think about that semi-final and how we could have won it in 90 minutes. I think about extra time and how we could have done it then. I think about the players and the talent we had, and I will die believing we were good enough to go all the way.
No fucking way. Did he actually write that?
I can't remember what I said to you all those years and nights ago. I can remember my first thought when you missed. Oh, fuck. We all had the sense of desolation because why wouldn't we? We'd been on a great ride. The best adventure. But if I personalized it at all, if I measured your contribution, it was as a fine defender and a fine human being who stepped forward and offered yourself when it mattered most.
Christ, man.
He must have been on the vino, I'd say, after the game. And here's something that life has taught me. You have to sample the shit to appreciate the good stuff. And if you put yourself forward that many times, every now and again, you'll trip up. You tripped, Gareth, but you stepped forward. And now it's time to finally let go and to let the rest of us catch you.
No fucking way. Is that real?
I'm not making this up.
No way.
Well,
what did he say?
From the teammates that played with you, let us catch your fall. There's nothing to feel sorry for, no reason for an apology, and nothing for you to change except what happens next. Hurt? No. Fuck that. I'm smiling. I'm proud.
God.
Proud of England. Proud of you.
This is like, oh man.
It was worth the wait, wasn't it?
Holy shit. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. He missed a penalty in a football game. Let it go, Gareth.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
I know. No, Gareth, it's not your fault. No, I actually know, Alger. I know. No, Gareth. Look at me.
Gareth, I've never once thought about that penalty we missed. Do I lay awake at night thinking we should have won? Yes. All day, every day.
Fuck yes.
It haunts me.
Jesus, yes.
It haunts me every day. That read remember, I'd say about 20 episodes back, I read out a dream that Stu had written.
This was more a fever dream than that.
Oh my God. That is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
What the best thing is though, it's like you know when someone retires or someone gets injured and then players feel compelled to put an Instagram post up. And it's like if you were actually close, you'd ring them.
Yeah, you'd say it, yeah.
Or you even text them, even send them a fucking email if you have a lot to say and you want to get it out on paper and you don't have to express yourself. Don't put it Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, don't write an open letter, Alan Shearer. Like, tell him if you think he actually needs to hear that. Like, but like, I really think Southgate's like, listen, I can't say, would you ever fuck up about 96? Fucking hell.
Stop reminding me. I'm trying to get over it. You keep bringing it up.
It's like, a politician's answer as well. They'd love to say, listen, man, like, I don't really know what tomorrow's going to bring. I'm doing my best here. They're like, well, I'm never voting for you again. Southgate's that same public figure. I got to fucking answer this diplomatically. Yeah, you know what? I have gotten over it through time and prayer and England, I guess. He's trying to say the fucking,
And Alan Shearer's watching at home, 2 pints of wine in his hand. It sounded like pills.
Thinking, oh no, I've ruined this man's life. He still cares. Like, he doesn't care. Like, don't like.
I must fetch my quill and ink.
Yeah. Honestly, man, it was just like, it's probably, Gareth Southgate's like, oh,
do you think he read it? There's no way he got through the whole thing. I'd say he got halfway through. It's like, I can't read this anymore.
The cringe.
Yeah,
like,
oh my God.
It's just like, I was, come on. Like, and a man who works in media, Alan Shearer works in, is he 100% genuine with all his match of the day analysis? I mean, fucking hell. How exhausting would that be?
That genuinely made me think less of Alan Shearer.
And me. I thought he was kind of cool, actually.
Well, you know what we have to do next episode? We're reading out the open letter to Shay Given.
Oh, God.
I can't wait to see what he had to say to Shay Given.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've gone kind of off track a little bit. We're not talking about the game much, but
who cares about the game anyway?
Look, England have won and they have a great fucking team. And yes, I was wrong about Jack Grealish. He keeps coming on and keeps being the difference in the games. Fuck that, man. First thing when I saw the back three, I was like, yeah, it's probably a good idea. But then I saw Saka starting
over Jadon Sancho.
I thought, oh no. Because like I say, it's hard to separate the players from the racist English fans and, booing the German anthem. I mean, and the It's Coming Home crowd. But whatever. I thought, Saka, Arsenal player, young lad, I thought this was going to be a kind of a Harry Kane on corners or starting Heskey up front. I thought this is going to be another like calamitous English selection, and it's going to be an Arsenal player, one of Arsenal's best players, who's going to have to take the brunt of this. Like, oh, Saka's going to play and be terrible. It's like, why was Saka playing? And he's going to be like a joke and a meme and a punchline of, oh, Saka on the left, and he played really well.
Yeah,
he actually played really well. He kept ghosting. It's not quiet, but he didn't get skimped by him. And every time he was on the ball, he just kind of seemed assured. It's like, oh, this is good. This is really good for Saka. And yeah, I mean, we said this. I think it was the Real Madrid. We kind of covered Real Madrid a lot this year, but it was when Real Madrid were playing Liverpool, and they're on their own kind of injury crisis of their own with the right backs, and they made Valverde do a job right back. And I thought, like, we said at the time, like, you can't do that. Like, I mean, he's a really good player, but like, Sadio Mane is one of the best wingers in the world. Like, you can't just do a job on him. So, like, it wasn't long before they had Asensio, tracking back and double up Mane to, two really, really world-class footballers doing a job as a makeshift right back. And Joshua Kimmich on the other side, he's a defensive midfielder doing a job as a right wing back. And who's he marking? Raheem Sterling. Again, like, even if you are a really, really good player at football, like, you have to be a specialist right back or right wing back at the very least to mark someone as good as Sterling or Sadio Mane. You just can't do it. I mean, thankfully, Sterling just decided what he was going to do was going to run, get the ball, run in the middle. Like, he ran to Goretzka and Muller and Kroos a few times. I mean, the goal eventually did come from that. Kane's goal came from that. Where was it? His own goal came from that, I think. He got the ball and played 1-2 with Kane out to Grealish maybe, and then Shaw, and then Sterling with the goal. But, I mean, there didn't seem to be a plan there for England.
No, it was get the ball. Keep it. We noticed it during was it the Croatia game? The really boring one we watched. Where it seems like the constant plan is get the ball back to Pickford, no matter what's happening. Like, every corner, they work their way back to their own goal. It's just so infuriating to watch.
Oh yeah, that was the game against Czech Republic, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
that could happen again very soon.
They were doing it. Oh, baby.
Oh fuck!
Thank God. But yeah, it seems like unless they're like right in the box, they're just passing it sideways and back, passing it sideways and back, and then just hopefully someone up top does something cool. It's like watching United. Of just
like they had the back three there, and it was like, that was to stop Germany's wing backs, which they destroyed Portugal with. It was Gosens, Kimmich to Gosens on the goal. They didn't want that to happen. So they had Xhaka there. He plays as a right wing back, or as a left wing back, right wing back for Arsenal. So he was also kind of tracking back, marking that space, as well as Shaw on that wing. So very good, solid defense on that side. Then you had Trippier on the other side with Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm right in saying that. Maybe it's the opposite of that. But whatever. The point being that like Sterling just decided, I'm just going to do my own thing.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get the ball and run directly into these massive German players, and it didn't seem to have much kind of joy for a lot of us. Like, he dived that one time and failed to Kane. He really messed it up and should have scored, didn't score. And I was like, but there's no plan here. There's no like way of getting a goal other than Sterling maybe like get that chance from outside the box. But like, that was it. That was all they had. So the Germans were then like, we know when Sterling gets the ball, we know what's going to happen. He's going to go directly into the box. So we all bunch in. So when they brought on Grealish, another player who likes to do whatever he wants, that's kind of what unlocked it, and he got he gave the ball to Shaw and got the assist for Kane. But it just seems like there's something lacking here.
They're good defensive, solid, boring, but it doesn't seem like Southgate is an attacking coach at all. Like, doesn't seem like they're running drills and like it's very much just very, very slowly work your way in if you can, and if not, who cares?
And they were just, I suppose, a little bit better than Germany in that, like, good players over the pitch, solid enough, and relying on kind of great players to score for them.
Mm.
And if Muller scores that equaliser, who knows what happens?
Yeah.
I
don't know how we missed that as well.
When we got that ball, it was just, it felt like a little bit too far out.
Yeah,
he was going to have to
he
sprint
wasn't one of the pacier lads to get the ball.
No, how often do you see Muller score those type of goals?
Yeah, it was just the wrong man to get it.
Like, if he had been maybe 10 meters closer when he got that ball to goal, he wouldn't have had to run so hard for so long. Because like Walker was like catching him.
Yeah,
Walker had him another yard, and he couldn't have kicked any later.
You would have wanted that ball to go to Timo, who would have got it, rounded the keeper, and then skied it over the bar.
Well, Timo had that chance in the first half. Yeah. Germany had great joy in the first 10 minutes, just kind of going right down the middle of them.
Yeah.
Timo had a chance, and he let it kind of, I guess, I don't know what you'd say. I don't know how I'm going to get Timo out of this one. The ball was like perfectly weighted to him. He let it go a little bit too far past his body, where it kind of like it's very obvious what he's going to do.
Yeah.
And I think it was Stones was chasing back on him, and Pickford was closing the angle. It's like he needed to kick that a little bit sooner to try and catch him off guard. Where it's kind of like you knew he was he was winding up, letting it go all the way across the body, and he was going to kick it and try and put it under the keeper. It was like he needed to maybe, like, same as Mbappe for France. He had that chance. Also, was coming probably a bit fast. But you think you got to curl that around the keeper.
Yeah.
You let it go across your body. There's only one place to go.
Yeah.
There's a defender on your right. The keeper's coming, and it's just like it's not a confidence player who hits that first time.
A fitting end to a season.
Yeah.
He needs.
I mean, like, I was
let
thinking
that man go on a nice summer holiday. Really relax for a few weeks.
Yeah. I don't know where he goes from here, to be honest. He didn't get the nod initially. He was nabbed. Like, I saw at one point there, when Werner was coming off for Gnabry and Xhaka came off for Grealish. I thought two Champions League winners replace each other, and two lads who never played a minute of Champions League football.
Yeah.
It's like this German team, which is so poor, and like, obviously Kimmich is a makeshift right wing back, and Gosens is a left wing back primarily, not really a left back for Atlanta, but but still, you can't escape that maybe Yogi Low had more talent than we were led to believe here.
Yeah.
Like, this team Like if those players were English, they would be saying, all right, forget it. You should put Kroos, Gundogan, and Muller in the middle, and then Sané, Gnabry, and Werner, and just go for it. That's what the English Twitter people would be saying. Just go all attacking. Not playing Grotzka and wing backs and trying to protect Hummels at the back. Just fucking go for it, But I guess they're out now, and I think there's only 4 players who played in the 2014 World Cup final. Neuer, Muller, Hummels, and who else was this?
Kimmich?
No, don't think so. Maybe Kimmich. It was Kimmich, but it is kind of the end of that era finally for them. Like I was saying, Didi Ham was talking about how Yogi Low really fucked the whole thing up with the Muller and the Hummels.
Totally lost everyone, fans and the team and everything for no reason.
And like it's if that's the end of Muller's career, getting jeered off, against England after missing a chance. I mean, most sports people's careers do end in failure.
Yeah. So that's when you don't go out on top. Usually, you go out in an embarrassing way, and you decide, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not good enough.
Yeah, that's what tells you now it's over. Like now you're going to retire.
The one Gary Neville always shites on about every time he gets the chance of when he was playing against West Brom and getting absolutely torn apart for the whole game by whoever was playing on the wing. And after the game, he said to Fergie, he was like, why did you keep blaming me? Why didn't you take me off? He's like, because you needed to learn. Like, you needed to see yourself.
Yeah. There's plenty of them. I mean, Roy Keane, another one, like, hobbles over the 90 minutes for Celtic. I mean, that's, not how... he didn't winning the Euros in Ireland or lifting Champions League with United. Like, that's really hard ends, because if you do that, you think, I'll go again next year. And the next year. And then it's like...
Michael Jordan finished at the Wizards.
Yeah, you always come back for one more. Yeah. The thing is, now next year there is one more.
Yeah, very soon.
But the thing is, with Yogi Löw and Hummels and Muller, I mean, Hummels definitely looks like he's past us.
Yeah.
But he should let him make that decision on his own.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You should let them end on a bad tournament. Like, obviously, if you're the head coach of the team, you're thinking, I got to keep it fresh. I got to keep it moving here. I can't let the team get old and stale. But like that's just the natural way it ends.
Yeah.
And that's how you let these players go. But by telling them you're out now before your time, and then the German people being like, bring them back in. Now you bring them back in. Now you lose anyways. The team was kind of like a mess. You're not really sure where you're playing them. Now where do you go from here?
Yeah.
Do you sack them again after all the clamour to bring them back in?
Yeah. Well, they've got the new manager coming in at least. Flick from Bayern.
Hansi Flick coming in. Now he's faced with, do I get rid of Muller? Now do I have to get rid of Muller? When it should have been like they would have retired on their own and there would have been any kind of controversy. But like, you've been a great servant and all that stuff. So yeah, a mess for Germany. England go on.
Surely our Danish boys are going to knock them out, I hope.
Well, they play the winners of Czech Republic and Denmark.
They have to play Ukraine first.
No,
I think they'll
play Ukraine first. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Breeze through Ukraine, surely. Although that is usually the games where England fuck it up. The ones where like, we've done it. We've won it. We're going to the top, baby. And then they fuck it.
So. Yeah. And you got Yarmolenko and Yaremchuk for them. Zinchenko, of course, he scored a goal the last day for Ukraine. He's played very well. It'll take a mammoth effort for them to win. Because look, England are very good. I don't think Gareth Southgate has a fucking clue what he's doing. I think it's all based on Sterling being able to score goals for England. Harry Kane actually got his goal, but he's been fucking terrible. I saw that before the game on RTE. I think it was at half time, and it was another terrible game. And Darren Maloney's like, oh, maybe they'll bring on Rashford, but him was number 9. I was like, oh, and I jumped, Will, to my Man United bias theory. Like, oh my God. Don't be a fucking idiot, Darren Maloney. Don't be stupid. He doesn't play there for Man United. Don't be so biased. They were going to play Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And then I looked at the squad. He wasn't in the 26. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, he's never going to drop Harry Kane.
No.
Like, that's I think before the game, that's like, listen, Harry, I'm not even going to bring Dominic. You're in, no matter what. I don't care how bad you play. Don't worry about it. Don't be looking over the line. There's no, come on. Patrick Bamford's at home.
Yeah, I didn't bring him.
Don't worry about that. So he drops Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and it's like there's no out and out number 9 beside him. He gets his goal now, but like, I mean, he hasn't been playing well. It's like, and I don't think it's because he's tired or there's plenty of players who played a lot of games. I mean, Forsberg for Sweden has played like 41 games for Leipzig between Champions Leagues and the Bundesliga. There's plenty of players who played lots of games who played well in this tournament. I think it's the whole system. It's not suiting Harry Kane. They're relying on Sterling's goals. Grealish is playing very well when the game opens up as a super sub. But
well, it's good news though. I think if Harry Kane is so irreplaceable and they're not even bringing down Calvert-Lewin, do you think Patrick Bamford is at home going, maybe I won't ever get a game for England? Who could I possibly play international football for?
A man can dream, Will. But no, I think Patrick Bamford. I have more respect for Patrick Bamford. Certainly I do for fucking Declan Rice or Jack Grealish. I think he genuinely thinks I don't see myself as Irish. I don't have any feeling towards that. And sure, it would mean playing at an international tournament and maybe getting moved to a bigger club. But like, it's just I genuinely don't think he cares enough about that to.
Apparently, there's a new one brewing now of Jamaica are trying to lure Mason Greenwood to play for them because Southgate hates him ever since him and Foden rode those girls, and Foden got away with it for some reason.
Foden, another player, hasn't played much at all.
Yeah. He was started a good few games at the start, and then, like we said, he is a Pep boy. Like, he does what Pep tells him to a T, and that's not what Southgate does. Like.
He probably said to Gareth Southgate before the game, what are the tactics, Gareth? What do you want me to do? I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do I want you to do? Just play football. It's like, but Pep usually has a plan of how we're going to win the game. What do you mean there's no tactics? What are the tactics here?
Not now, Phil. I'm reading a letter from Shearer.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just going to text him. Oh, fucking hell. I honestly, I think he that's the biggest sign to me.
Yeah.
That, Phil Foden is like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want me to do, boss.
Yeah.
It's like, just do whatever. It's like,
I don't know what that is.
In what context do you want me to do whatever? I mean, what? There must be some plan. There must be something you want me to do.
Well, This has been an excellent tournament for the United fan, though, because Bruno, sent home, rested, barely played. Rashford, not playing at all. Sancho, not playing at all, sitting on the bench beside Rashford, their best buddies. Did you see how the Sancho transfer was officially confirmed?
I have on my notes here, Will, Sancho to United and in brackets 5 minutes. So I'm not going to spend more time on that because I feel like we've been talking this forever. So you go ahead.
One little thing. So it's been going on for like 2 years, whatever the fuck. You're expecting like eventually the big announcement will come. The big announcement came the night after, or the night of England beating Germany, where apparently the English team were like celebrating, and someone tweeted Rashford and said, "Can you confirm Sancho?" And he tweeted back, "Yes, X." And apparently he was full.
Yeah.
And then the next...
He's not playing.
Yeah, because he was like, yeah, fucking yeah. So I think they've become best buddies sitting on the bench beside each other. They were like, oh yeah, I'll play for United, absolutely. This is class. Yeah. And then, because then the next day Rashford came out and he said, sorry, I was hacked. Very specific hacking.
What year is it that we can just say that and that's okay? Oh, I was hacked.
But like,
by what?
Yeah, who's doing that? Who's hacking in and replying to one tweet politely?
Bullshit, man. Bullshit. But whatever. No, like, Sancho's there. We're all very happy to see Sancho at United. It's definitely going to solve all their problems in the middle of the park.
Word. This is the one.
Yeah, I suppose the other news, Premier League news that we should probably talk about. Rafa Benitez, Everton manager.
And they're not happy about it. See all the death threats and stuff he's getting.
Apparently they sent the wrong house, the first death threat. Which is, they're probably been there for years since he's at Liverpool. They just they love the place so much that they just.
But he loves it so much that he's like, I'll manage Everton. I don't care. I just want to be back there. He
probably thought, look, I know the area really well. I know the people on one side of the fence. It seems good on paper, but I don't know.
There's so much pressure on him. Like, if he fucks up at all, they're gonna be calling for his head. Which I think is stupid.
Thought, Will?
Why? Who? who cares? Like, he managed Liverpool ages ago.
I think he made some disparaging comments about Everton being a small club.
But who hasn't?
Well, he does this. I mean, I remember he said something about Chelsea and their little plastic flags. Oh yeah, that's a real club. Not. And then he became Chelsea manager.
And they hated him.
So he does have a penchant for saying these disparaging things against people he will probably never manage.
Yeah.
And then ends up managing them. But yeah, I thought, you know what? Do you remember the 2005 Champions League final between AC Milan and Liverpool?
Mm-hmm.
Carlo Ancelotti, of course, versus Rafael Benitez. Who'd have thought back then that they would be successive Everton managers? I mean, really, Everton should be just thinking, wow, what a time to be alive. We have these quality of managers coming in.
Ancelotti went from Everton to Madrid.
Yeah, that's
still weird. He wasn't good at Everton, really. They were like 8, weren't they? 9?
Yeah. So we'll see how Everton do with Rafa in charge. Like I say, you win the first few games, I think it's all water on the bridge, you know.
I think he's good as well. Like, I'm seeing a lot of people giving out about him, saying he's passing and stuff. I thought he was good at Newcastle for what he had. He kept them up. He got them up and kept them up. Like.
We'll see. But another managerial appointment that I thought would have been very straightforward. I called this months ago. And just because you're right now doesn't mean that I was right. I mean, I was definitely not right. But when I saw Nuno Espirito Santos hurriedly resigned from his post at Wolves, I thought, oh, I wonder what job he's going to. The one job that's become available very recently in Spurs. I thought, yeah, he's a good manager. He's worked with a lot of foreign players. He has connections to super agent George Mendes. That's Tottenham written all over it.
Yeah.
And then 12 managers later, I was like, oh, well, I guess Nuno maybe got a text, or maybe a drunk Daniel Levy. He said, yes, X, come to Tottenham. But now it seems that he's not second or first or third, or he's 12th choice Spurs manager.
Yeah, and I don't think Spurs fans are too happy about it as well, because remember Levy wrote the big letter being like, attacking football, that's what we're back, baby. And then he got like a very defensive manager. Boring sometimes.
They're counterattacking. They're like they sit back and like that's why
more Jose.
That's why Jota was perfect for Liverpool, because it's the same kind of like pace on the counterattack. It's not but at least Liverpool press. Like Wolves only never had the players to press. Now you might say, look, Spurs are better players, so he might play a different style, but it's hardly fucking total football, is it?
Yeah, and as well, I don't think it's too promising that so many managers. It's bad enough that first you're like, we're getting Conte, okay, we're getting Poch, and like getting people hyped up, and like, actually, we're getting Wolves manager after his worst season at Wolves.
Yeah.
And then as well, a lot of those managers they were in talks with pulled out apparently because they were told they have no money to spend. And then he's like, I'll do it. That's not too promising.
Well, this is the thing, like, there's nothing to lose for Nuno.
Yeah. It's a good point for him. Yeah. I just think Spurs absolutely blew it. Like if they had just announced him when he became available, people were like, yeah, fine.
But then he went to like I say, when you put a letter out there, you write an open letter, you make you paint yourself to a corner there. You're like, oh, well, now I've committed to over attacking football. Who even plays over attacking football?
Well, it started.
Like, what is that? What is that like? What's over attacking football?
I'll tell you a team who does lots of attacking football. United last year when we were shit because you just concede every game. It doesn't work.
Play open attack football. I mean, you'd say he has really good attacking players. Like open attacking football, like Chelsea won Champions League. It
doesn't exist anymore. Football.
PSG playing the counter.
It does not exist.
Very defensive as well. I mean, it's like it's a myth. It's like to say to commit to something that doesn't even exist. I mean, that's just classic Levy.
Yeah. And as well, it's something that's a total 180 from what you just had, which means the players aren't trained in that or like coached in that. That's not going to be it's so stupid. We joked at the start about Levy being like an idiot, but as time's gone on, he's really out of himself.
So yeah, I think we'll see with Spurs, and I think like if they'd done that like a week afterwards. Like it's like I say, it's more of a Bundesliga thing to say, oh yeah, your manager, he's ours next year. So good luck for the last 10 games of the season.
Yeah.
But if that had happened, it would have been a lot better for them. As it is now, it feels like, well, he is 12th choice. We know for a fact he's 12th choice. So it feels like a 12th choice. He is 12th choice. Good for Nuno. Hey, good for Matt Doherty, probably.
Yeah, very good for Matt.
So we'll see how it goes for them. That's all. I think that's just about all the news we can cover.
Yeah, it was busy days. There's probably games on.
There's games on. While you're listening to this, if you listen to this, like one of the first people even listening to us, you know who you are, and we know who you are as well.
This will be pretty raw. I think this will be a pretty raw
We
episode.
have a few hours before we're proving all this wrong, Will. But just to make double sure, we should have a quick look ahead of the games. Quarterfinals: Belgium, Italy.
Oh, baby.
Switzerland, Spain. Ukraine, England, Czech Republic, Denmark. Definitely an easier side of the draw there. Belgium without some of their boys. Italy going strong.
Don't know if you saw that Hazard is fit to play. So he was. That injury he got was literally.
Oh, of course it was. 100% it was.
It's just like, I'm not really arsed.
So yeah, those games are coming up tonight, Friday, and Saturday. Yeah. I don't know, Will. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think we covered everything pretty extensively. I'm still reeling from the Shearer note, to be honest. That's going to take me a while.
Well, fair enough. We'll just touch on the fantasy football then, the last little bit. If you're still with us, folks, I mean, this is the beauty of the last segment of the show, where we know that the analytics tell us no one listens past like 30 minutes, so we can say the fuck we want right now. But yeah, the fantasy league, I'm up to 15th. I'm starting to give up the ghost as I've become 100 point behind the leaders. It's getting desperate there.
It's tough.
Your brother still flying it.
Yep.
Bournemouth number 1, the Bangers number 2. Come on, the Bangers. Don't let this slip now.
Yeah.
FC Club the Mixer 3rd. I think he shot the table, so he's a dark horse for us. Another dark horse, a new entry at the top 5. Will Slumdog Mingale.
Ooh,
yeah, he's rocketed up that into number 4.
You said that like it was a top 20 singles chart. Coming in at number 5.
Shooting at number 3, Slumdog Mingale. Number 5, Horses Don't Run, They Can't. Like Top the Pops.
Yeah.
Unlucky for the Neville Wears Prada. Dropped out to 12th.
Oof, after a strong start.
Strong start. But this is the thing. Top 5 last round, down 13. That's how close it is.
Yeah.
So it's not over till it's over. Folks.
One good captain choice can make it. Like if you get someone people don't have and they score a hat-trick, you could shoot up to the top. Like that's not out of the realms of possibility.
And of course, don't forget the prize here, Will. You know, €50 prize if your name is finishing with Burn or Tool.
Yep.
And secondly, a jersey of your choice from Euro 2020 or an Irish jersey.
Yep.
You know, we'll get you that to you ASAP. So yeah, all to play for still. Looking good.
For some,
I'm catching you, Will.
Yeah,
I'm on you.
It seems like every time I check the scores, it's a new person, and I'm like, okay, that's my new rival. For a while, it was anyone but Will Byrne, but they're shot ahead of me now.
Well, now that I found out you can change your captain, putting Benz out with his 2 goals, that was fucking a real game changer for me. You know, a good week.
Well,
like I said,
do you want to see
the big win? There's always like a player who does well. You're not really sure why. Why you didn't have them, or why everyone else had them, you didn't. Not much of them. Again, I just said, keep it simple. I said, who scores for England? Sterling. Put him in. Sterling scores. I said, who scores for France? Benzema. Keep it simple like that. I mean, Dahlberg, he's on a tear right now. I get him in. If they're going to score, it's going to be him.
Yep.
Get him in.
Don't overthink this. Don't look at any stats. Don't look at anything. Don't even watch the games. Just read the scores and who scored.
Who scored last, get them in. Who kept clean sheet, get them in.
Yep.
It's simple as that. Yeah. That pretty about does it, Will, I think.
Would say so.
Anything else to look into? Anything else to
No,
add?
I was just thinking.
Final thoughts?
Do you think Paul Pogba is going to write Mbappe an open letter in 20 years' time saying, I never thought of you as a loser. I think it'll be the opposite. I think he'll get a letter. He'll get multiple open letters being like, I fucking knew it. I knew you were going to miss.
I don't know, man. Maybe there's a lot. Benzema, perhaps. Benzema maybe right to open there. This was my chance.
Well,
this is my comeback. I went to jail because of you.
Benzema's
You ruined my life, Paul Pogba.
Benzema's going to be writing his open letter with fucking in prison.
From prison. It's Benzema who's going to be in trouble here. Not forget about Mbappe and Pogba. They'll be bazillionaires by then. It'll be Mbappe rotting away in jail. Darren Pogba, just pass the ball to someone else. You selfish arsehole.
If I win the Euros, I don't go to jail.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense.
1-0 England. It's coming home.
Nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?